Welcome to this look at a new mod map to Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on Jewel Valley by Gridoo. This is a new mod map out, 73.51 megabytes download. There are no required mods. When I say Jewel Valley, that's jewel as in double, not duel as in pistols at dawn. That being said though, it could end up that. This is a kind of Dwarvish Mines of Moria meets the Wedding Planner. I don't know if Gridoo's getting married or you'll see. It's an interesting concept. It's let's go. The map looks like this. So when I say dual, double, it's not quite symmetrical, which is actually pretty cool. You have two trains. You've got the red train line, the blue train line. On New Farmer, we start with mine here, the red mine on the red track. And the tracks loop round. Now you also then have on the other side of kind of the main river, you've got another mine which duplicates, and some of the other points on the map are duplicated. So if you wanted to play against a friend, you could run this as in opposition, or just run it on your own, two separate train tracks, two different mines, and go for it, whatever you want to do. Fuel prices aren't too bad, aren't too expensive. The mines themselves, like I say, New Farm, we start with that mine already, and we do start with plot 2 here. But the mine is 6,048 for that one, and this one's 5,929. So not expensive for the mines. Like I say, fuel price is not too bad. There is a kind of periphery of the map, which is 1,769,020 if you want to own the periphery and the verges. Now, what also duplicates is up here we've got a jeweler, and over here we've got a jeweler. So each side of the map has got a jeweler, as in jewellery, again, not pistols at dawn. And then what we've also got is we've got railroad silo and rent train point for each track. So the blue and the red track are just here. We've also then got a rent train, and we've got a stone processing plant on each. But then some other things are utilised by both the vehicle workshop and vehicle shop. And then we've got animal dealer sell point, a couple of bits. As you'll see, both trains. Now the trains go to Adelaide, and they go off the map here and they come back on the map here. So if you have anything that needs to be sold to Adelaide, you need to put them on the train, and that's where they go, and they will come back on. So I will show you the red track. I might jump on and show you the blue track as well. The routes aren't identical, but as close to as you're going to get. Now there is information on this, and there's a warning. I'll read this first. So it's a fictional location loosed basically on Wilpena Pound in South Australia, which is north of Adelaide. And the Wilpena Pound, what was the place called? It's a big national park. So anyway, it does say, with train lines weaving through the hills over trestle bridges and tunnels through gold mines left over from the gold rush of the 1850s. So that's the kind of premise behind it. Now, farming is available. There are fields, and you do start with on New Farmer some farm equipment. And it's kind of left as if farming's been abandoned. The whole area's kind of been abandoned. You're coming back in to make it better again. Now, there are some things you're going to require. One being diesel is expensive, so you need to make your own, and you do on New Farmer start with, if I scroll down, we do start with a biodiesel plant. And this, look, we've got a bridal, it says trailer, I think it's supposed to be tailor, so you can make clothes anyway, but you can turn those clothes into wedding dresses and tuxedos. So that's kind of the first indication of impending nuptials. And then, like I say, biodiesel just here, so you can make biodiesel from sunflower and canola. We'll get to that later on. Back to the map. So what we're going to do, this is our start point on New Farmer. We do start with a sleep trigger just here. Got a little fire pit. We do start with this little carport. We've got a pickup, got a trailer. Then we come a little bit further on the side. We've got a little shed. We've got stuff for doing farming. We've got some start equipment. It all looks like it's it's a bit worn. It's not showing damage, but it's all a little bit dirty. Then we've got trailer, little tanker just here, and there's some other bits of equipment that we'll get to in a little while that are scattered. Now, on New Farmer, the slot count is 820. That's all, 820. On Farm Management Start from Scratch, that comes down to 682. You don't start with any of the equipment and machinery. You don't start with the carport. You don't start with the shed, shelter just here, and it will look like this. You can see the train running across. What is interesting is the train has been sort of replaced by a small shunting engine because some of the turns are quite tight and it works better on the map. You've only got 2 carriages on there, but the map does come with a warning. I'm going to read the warning out. There's a lot of custom that says the bridal tailor, there's the jeweler, there's a processing plant. The mines are incredible. It's very clever. So the warning, it says, don't accept 2 harvest missions of the same crop type to be delivered to Adelaide via train. Doesn't say why. Also, harvest missions via the train don't give bonus money for crops. So, just to be aware of that. Don't accept it. I suppose because you've got 2 train lines, both going off to Adelaide, no, it won't necessarily know which one's going where. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, that is a warning, and it tells you. There are gold nuggets, 12 of them to collect around the map. I haven't encountered one yet, but they are apparently on the map. We're going to go to the train, taking a couple of bits on the way. Like I say, it duplicates on the other side. I'll show you a little bit, and I'll probably show you the train line on the other side as well. Just for completion, you know. Drive out past here, and we've got railroad silo, transfer silo. Now this is for crops, pretty much. We get our rent train point here, so I'm going to rent the train for only 100 now, so it's not too expensive, which is pretty cool. It's in a crater. I was looking at some pictures actually of Wilpena Pound, and it's actually the picture I saw online looks very much like this from a distance. It's incredible. See a train going up and around there. So they do these loops round, and they do pass each other. So when they go off the map, when they come back on, they do your loop round and it'll run around the entire map and then come back down to where you are. So at some point, I think that's just come on the map, so that should be coming back and joining me momentarily. I have had a look for pastures and stuff like that for animals. I haven't come across any. And we have got fields and stuff up around the back. There is a roadway that runs up and runs around the back of here as well. It's really different, I have to say. So as far as biodiesel goes, we've always said sunflower and canola is required. So as far as doing crops, you're going to at least need to do those if you're going to do biodiesel. We've then got stone and water for the stone process, and we've got the jeweler and the bridal, and it all goes to Valley View weddings. So it's all leading towards a wedding and a wedding venue, which is actually quite cool. So if you actually, what we'll do while we're waiting for the train, just over here we've got our harvester. You start with a new farm. It's just kind of left in the bushes, just there, but when you're ready for it you can come and grab it and off you go. There's another little tractor a bit further on, and there's one as we go a bit further on the track. What I'm going to do, I will get the train from here, and rather than go that way I'm going to reverse all the way back round, because like I say, if I go that way it will take me off the map, and then I've got to wait for the train to come back again. So what I'll do, I'll reverse all the way back round. We'll start with the train coming in on the map, we'll follow the track round, and we'll take in all of these different points as we go around. That's kind of my plan, such that it is. Train should be here momentarily. So we have just come in excuse me, from Adelaide onto the map. Like I say, going the other way would have gone straight off the map, and it will loop around. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you these bits here rather than going way around. So what this will do now, when it comes onto the map, it will loop off to the right. When it goes off the map, it will come straight down this way. I like that. I'm trying to think of many maps where you get actual junctions that work. But anyway, all that being said, animal dealer point is just here, with the animal dealer bale sale point just there. We've got a lime station just here, and then we've got the vehicle shop and workshop trigger just here. This is the reset point on the map as well, and then we've got a fuel point just here. Now if we come across the way, I must say as well, I have taken the liberty. On New Farmer you start with 100,000. I did put some extra money in just to make sure I was ready for this bit. But if we come across here, this is our stone processing plant, and you can unload your stone by train into the plant, no problem at all. And like I said, this is duplicated on the other track as well, the stone processing. So if we come around to here, buy that, 10 grand, that's all. So, stones in, diesel in, water in, we get crushed stone, silver, gold and diamonds come out, which is all very lovely, which will come in very handy later on. There is a rent train point here as well, and then just over here we've got the old barn. The old barn is a sell point for wood, and just inside there Oh, I'm gonna brave the river. On New Farmer, we do have a fence on narrows with a front loader and forks. So again, a few bits of equipment scattered around the map for the farming aspect of things. And again, you can. This is another one of those maps. You don't have to come on here and do mining. You don't have to do stone quarrying. You don't have to do stone processing. You don't have to make jewellery. You can come on here and just farm. It's a nice enough map already to just come on and do farming. Why not? So, let's grab the train. Now, all these bits here are utilised by both sides of the map, both farms, both farmers, however you want to look at it. But like I said, the stone process, there is another one over there, and the same with the railroad silos, there is a duplicate, as there is a duplicate with the jewellers as well. So what we're going to do, let's head up, swing around. These shunting engines have got a bit of oomph to them, but we haven't got loads and loads of carriages behind us, so we should be absolutely fine. And we're heading to the mines of Moria. It is interesting how it's got a kind of... That's an interesting... That kind of bend... Oh, that was sort of weird camera. Is that just me, or was that... There we go, there's the other train. As I'm moving the camera and it kind of... I don't know, the orientation of the train, I guess. Over the bridge. And the mine's over here. And we actually go into the mine in the train. There's a roadway, you can just say as well, that runs up to it. It's quirky and clever, and I don't know, I really like it. I like the transition, I like the difference in height, the levels of it. The train goes right the way up, sort of into the mountains. It's very clever. And I guess you could put other sell points and stuff up here, other productions. Now this roadway runs up and over the back. What I'll do at this point, let's just stop there a second. I was going to drive up, but actually it makes more sense to do it like this. Let's throw the drone up. So this roadway that crosses over here runs up. There's a little bit of forestry up around the back here. Not a huge amount, but there is some. But what you could do, again, if you want to set up with a Let's Play and have more forestry, you could pick a couple of plots and you could plant some more trees if you wanted to. And this runs right the way around the back. Let's come back off there, go back to the map. So we were here. That runs right the way around the back and goes up there. Now we are going to stop the train again after the mine because we're going to go up to the jeweller and have a look at the jeweller. I like it. I know it's a weird thing to say, but it's interesting that the fact it is kind of split to run it if you wanted to run it separately, that the map isn't orientated so it's more north-south, so the split is vertical. It's interesting that it's been done at an angle and it isn't completely symmetrical, which is a nice touch to it. Because I think if it had have been, it would have been too clinical. It would have felt too set up. I know it kind of probably does anyway, but anyway, all that being said. Now, nothing to be aware of, because on New Farm you do start with some equipment and machinery. As we come into the mine by rail, the mine you start with does have a conveyor system. The other mine on the other side doesn't. So if you were going to play against someone else and you were going to set it up and sort of battle against each other, you would probably be better off making sure you set everything up equally before you get started. Let's just stop that there. So conveyor system here, and we've got a load of stone in here that you can mine. Once you've bought the mine, you've got the stone to access. We've got a rent train point there. We've also got a stone buy point. So if you don't want to do that side of it, you can just come up here and you can get stone out of there if you want to. That of course will be up to you. Exit of the mine is there, but what is really cool, we can come in and out of here. If you don't want to use the train, by road as well. Is the train still moving? Is that just me? Look at this. It's very cleverly done. It's quite an amazing view, this. Not something you encounter very often on a game like Farming Simulator, but there we go. So a roadway in, if you wanted to. I love that. I like a bit of photography. I'm always looking for things, how you can frame a picture and, you know, stuff like that. This is another one of those ones I could have taken thumbnails all over the place. So back to the train. We're going to head out and stop at. There's a little platform that we can stop at and load at, or load, whichever. Then we're going to go up to the jeweler. Check that out. All heading towards that big wedding. Don't want to go too fast, so I'm going to slow down again in a minute. So just up here's a little platform. I'm not going to walk the whole, I mean, technically I am, but another roadway and crossing point here again if you want to come by road and not rail. Just going to stop there, hop out, so we come up round here, and this sweeps down the rocks. And we're heading up towards the jeweler. So, the jeweler up on the hill, and again, duplicated this side of the rocks. What is also very cool, I don't know if I'll get a chance to show you, but yeah, I'll show you. Why not? Let's do it. So, what was that gold nugget up there? So, buy the production plant, 100,000 for this one. Then we can make diamond rings, gold rings, and silver rings. So, from the stuff in the processing stone, I assume the crushed stone we just sell. I don't think there's any... Yeah, there's no need for it for anything else, I don't think. But what's interesting about these, when we go and look at the prices, is the value of these. It's up there. Let's go and have a look at our prices. So, our silver, gold and diamonds are worth a bit anyway. Silver not as much as gold, but diamonds more than the other two. Not bad. Crushed stone, it's a kind of byproduct. But silver ring, not a bad price. Gold ring, okay. Diamonds, oh. Now, the process of doing those, you get less diamond than you do the others. But prices for the rings? Weddings aren't cheap, people. Weddings aren't cheap. Now, the rocky outcrop down here, there's like a little waterfall. And you've got little crossing points and viewing points, and it's really nicely done. Sort of hiking trails and that kind of thing. You've kind of got water trickling down through the little bits here. There's a little bridge across, and I just think it's really well thought. Yeah, look at this from the top here. And it kind of runs down, trickles over all the stones, goes down. Look at that as a view. Brilliant. I'm heading back to the train. Let's carry on. So continuing on, we shall do our sweep. Then our line, the red line, will swing back around, take us back down towards where I rented the train originally, at the railroad silo. It's got quite a cinematic feel to it. I don't know, probably because the train and the way the camera's moving, I suppose, but now, as far as the railroad silo goes, it takes mainly crop types. It's not a multi-fruit, doesn't take everything silo. If we click on there and do that. There we go. So that's what it will take. Pop off, return the train, and I shall continue on. So, from there, now that is something I was going to say, because we do start with this on New Farmer. Let's go back to the map. So the biodiesel plant and the bridal trailer. There's not a duplicate of that. So the other person wouldn't be able to do that. And under build mode, let's just double check that. Build mode. Oh, I didn't talk about build mode, did I? What am I like? Under build mode, under sheds. Sorry, forgot about that. There you go, we've got a couple of sheds. How very remiss of me. Then farmhouses. We've got the Jewel Valley farmhouse, which we start with. And then we go to, I was just going to say, factories. There we go. So we've got a jeweler, the biodiesel plant, stone processing, or the bridal. Just there. So if you do want to put that in for the other part, I was going to say, hang on a minute, it's not duplicated, and I'd forgotten to show you this bit. So you can duplicate those on the other side of the map if you want to have your own biodiesel and your own bridal. We do have a fuel tank trailer just there. We've already seen this in the menu anyway, but sunflower or canola oil for your diesel. We come across here. There's not a spinnery on the map. You'd have to place a spinnery because you'd need your fabric coming in and clothes, but clothes are made from fabric, which you can make here. So we can make our clothes from fabric, and then once we've got our clothes, we can then turn those into wedding dress or wedding tuxedo. Something a bit different. Now the other thing as well is we've got another vehicle abandoned just down here. There we go. Just down by the river. Again on New Farmer. And then what we'll do is we're going to take a whiz out to Valley View Weddings, which is where you take the rings if you want to sell them. Just over there is the silo. We'll come back to that in a moment. I'm just trying to decide whether or not is it worth it. I mean, realistically, the other track, like I say, it's a slightly different height elevation, and one track goes over the other, but it goes through a mine. It's pretty much the same. I don't know if it needs to be shown, but what I will show you, and it's that kind of, it's almost Battle of the Weddings as well, which is kind of interesting. If we turn down here, this can be accessed on both sides of the map because this is the only sell point here, Valley View Weddings. Just here for selling of those items. But what is very cool, you might have seen it when we came across on the train, and there's one either side of the map as well on here, which I thought was quite nice, is you've got a wedding venue. So if you want to have your wedding here as well, get your tuxedo, get your dress, come and get your ring from there. You've got this lovely area with a fantastic view around. Seating for your guests. Look. Food laid out for a buffet. I don't know, it's made me smile today. It's just very cool. Unusual, but very clever. I think I will leave it there. If you want to come and explore, you can. But then, like I say, I've shown you all the main points. The silo's duplicated, the rent train point's duplicated, and the mine's duplicated. The track itself, the layout is almost identical with a slight variation. One goes over the other, one goes under the other. But other than that, that's the map. That's Jewel Valley by Gridoo. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.